Okay, guys, good evening. Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to episode number 29 of the FPL Family. Bit different tonight. Sammy's unwell, guys. She's got migraines, dizzy spells, all sorts of stuff. I think she's getting dizzy because she's up into sort of 30k or something now. So she's getting to the real dizzy heights of the top 100k. She had a very, very good game week, which we'll come to in a bit. Kane captain has obviously contributed to that. I didn't have Kane. Went for Aubameyang. But I'm feeling quite good about that this week with the fixtures coming up. With Huddersfield at home, I think he's going to be my captain this week. But guys, thank you for joining. I'm going to be here for, frankly, as long as you need me to be. Probably going to do, let's do a maximum an hour, but let's see how we go. Bring your questions. No agenda for tonight. Normally we do like Sam's Jammy Pick. You guys that join us regularly will know that. We'll look at the fixtures. We'll do all of that stuff, and I'll look at my team, and we'll look at what substitutions I'm looking to make and what transfers I'm looking at. But just have a Q&A. Let's just do some questions. We've got to talk about all the hot topics, right? So Arnautovic replacements. We definitely need to talk about that. I myself am on him. Really not happy about that because with the fixtures coming up, he was going to be a set and forget in my team. Maybe even a captaincy option over Christmas. So not happy about that. But guys, it kind of felt like it was coming, didn't it? He's hobbling off on 80-something minutes every game. Really disappointing. So we've got to talk about Arnie replacements. We're going to talk about captains as well for the game week that's coming up. Game week, I think, 16 we're on now, coming up. We're going to do some other things as well. We'll look at the FPL Family Christmas Present League. We're not as we normally would be on a Sunday night where the leagues may or may not be updated. So we'll have a look at that. We'll see how you guys are getting on. There's at least 2 or 3 English, UK-based managers doing very well in that league right now. So we'll have a look at who is in the top 5, the top 10 of that league, who's got a really good chance of getting that trip to Wembley, that stadium tour for 2 to Wembley, which we will be announcing, guys. If you weren't aware, if you haven't been tuning in to us regularly, on the 23rd of December, we'll be looking at that league, looking at the top managers, and if you're top of that league on the 23rd of December, you will win that trip to Wembley, the stadium tour at Wembley. But you need to be a UK-based manager. So if you're not a UK-based manager, you'll get a mention on the stream, loads of applause, loads of plaudits, lots of kudos, but you need to be a UK-based manager to win that prize. So we'll have a look at that league, we'll take a look at my team, look ahead to the game week, all that good stuff. So guys, keep those questions coming in. Let's say hello to a few of you that are in. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for sticking with it, given that it's going to be a bit different tonight, guys, because Sam's not here. She is here, by the way. She's in the room, but she's not feeling good. So looking at screens and even getting up off the sofa is not good right now. And there's coughs and all sorts going on. So it's just me tonight, guys. It's just me. So Leo is here. Thank you, Leo, for tuning in. Let's see. Ian Barrett is here. What's up? How are you doing? Jatin is here. How are you? J-Boy's here. MU Fan TV. Liverpool were lucky yesterday. Well, do you know what? Didn't catch the game yesterday. The team, guys. I think I tweeted the team sheet when it came out. I don't know what Klopp was kind of thinking there. I mean, we've got the win in the end, so I'm kind of happy. But there was a lot of unhappy fantasy managers when that team sheet came out. Salah benched. Firmino didn't start. Mane not there altogether, which I think might have been a bit expected given that we knew he had some sort of issue with his foot, big cut on his foot. No Robertson because he got a bit of a knock in the previous game as well. And then Joe Gomez goes and gets injured in that game. Also to compound the misery for Liverpool fans and for his FPL owners, of which there are a few of you out there. So we'll be talking a little bit about Liverpool later on and whether that makes Trent Alexander-Arnold now a better option, right? Because he looks potentially a bit more nailed on in that side now. Gomez has probably got to go to right. He might play Klein, of course, but happen to think that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be a very, very good pick now over Christmas and pretty much nailed on in that team. Neil Craston is here. How you doing, Neil? Toxic Fusion's here. How you doing? John Chappell. Klopp is a genius. How many more Gomez injuries do you want on a rainy night? I like that. Martin Boyle, how are you doing? Thanks for adding me to the Livestream Regulars League. You are more than welcome, Martin. Welcome to the league. Hope you're doing well. Josh is here. Josh, I think from what Sam tells me, you're doing pretty well in the Christmas Present League, Josh. So we're going to come and have a look at that a bit later on. So fair play to you if you're doing well in that league. FPL Prince is here. How are you doing? Thoughts on Lacazette, he says. We will come to Arsenal a bit later on. I don't think that I've picked the wrong Arsenal asset, but they look equally good at the moment, don't they? They look equally good. JC is here. Klein will now return from the dead. Well, maybe. I got a feeling that Klopp just doesn't like him that much. I'm not sure what it is about him, but I'm not sure he fancies him. Aaron Chen is here. Good evening. How are you doing? Mike Gascoigne is here. Back in the lives. Haven't seen you for a while, Mike, so welcome back. Good to see you. Hakim Bong is here, and Josh Oram. Cater is looking good. You're absolutely right about that. Amita Shestra, thank you. How was FIFA? Amita, I am really bad at FIFA, but shout out to all of the guys. We went for a beer in London, in London Bridge with Tom from Who Got the Assist. FPL editor was there, Craig Ellis. We had, who else did we have? We had Ash from the Gaffer Tapes. We had Ash from FPL Hints as well. So Chief on FPL Twitter, if you guys are on FPL Twitter. And who else do we have? We had Peter as well, at MathSafe FPL. So a whole host of guys. We all caught up, and we had Iceman as well from the surgery. So really good to get together with all the guys and find out about, the personalities behind the handles, which is what the Twitter community is all about, guys. It was great to meet those guys. But you're absolutely right. My FIFA skills are, let's just say they need some work. A bit more of a Mario Kart guy, right? I'm a bit more into Nintendo. The PlayStation and the Xbox has got to wait, guys. It's got to wait. J-Boy, 59 points. Very happy. Very, very happy with that. As you well should be, sir. As you well should be. Luca Elliott, up to 361 overall. Now, Luca, you've either forgotten the K there, or that, my friend, is an absolutely fantastic rank. 361. So, guys, let's do... I'll tell you what, why don't I show you how my team got on last game week? So let's do that, and then we'll come and do some questions. Let's have a look. Josh Chellin, 74 no hits. Josh, absolutely amazing. Robert, 72 points. I like that. Soon back at 1k. Decent work, mate. Dom J, 75 points. There was a lot of 70s, guys. If you've got Kane and you captained him, and you had a bit of the smatterings around that, like the Richarlisons and the Frasers and people like that, and even the Sanés, you were doing pretty well. Let's have a look at my points. It was actually all right, guys. It's 55, which is not like amazing, but it was all right. I was watching, we had the Man City game on when we were in the bar, all of us on Tuesday night, and I had Sané captain, and only me and Iceman had Sané. No one else had him. So we were cheering that one. I was particularly cheering that one. It was just before half-time, wasn't it, that Sané goal? Would have been nice for him to get 2, but listen, can't complain with the goal. Richarlison, Martial and Fraser, actually my midfield doing some bits there, to be fair to them. It's the front two that didn't make the grade. I went for Aubameyang. To be honest, I didn't really ponder it too long, guys. I was kind of thinking, and I've said before on these streams how I didn't think, Kane was doing that well this season, but the stats were looking better, but I still didn't trust him at his price tag. Well, he's come back to sting me, guys. And if Sam was here, she would be loving talking about that right now, because she obviously has had him, as she has done all season, captained him, and he returned with a 12 pointer, 24 points for his captain. So very, very good indeed. Aubameyang with the 2 points was disappointing. I still feel like it was the right move. Let's see at the end of this game week, with Huddersfield going to the Emirates, let's see how Aubameyang does. I'm pretty sure he's going to be my captain. Arnautovic was obviously really disappointing, especially given that Lucas Perez comes on and gets 2 goals in his absence, which was very, very disappointing. I've got the feeling that Arnautovic could have done well in that game, but now he's got a problem. We've seen the updates on Twitter. If you guys aren't following Ben Dinnery on Twitter, go follow Ben for all the FPL injury updates. And Arnautovic is now out for a few weeks. He's probably going to miss that Christmas period. And I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks, guys, is what I'm hearing. But in this period of FPL, that is 6 to 7 game weeks, maybe 5, 6, 7 game weeks. So you cannot afford to be without Arnautovic for 5 or 6 game weeks. So he is going to have to go for me. I did notice that he went down in price last night, but I felt like I wanted to just ride that and have a bit of time to think about what I wanted to do with him. Lots of options going around in my head as well. So we will be thinking about and talking about that in just a second. Once we finish the team review, we will come to that, because I think the Arnautovic replacement is probably one of the hottest topics out there right now. I got Jamie, Doherty come on. I did bench Doherty, but as you can see, the power of the bench came through for me. Robertson didn't play, so Doherty comes in. Very happy with that, guys. And again, it just emphasises the fact that you do need a bench. I think in FPL full stop, actually, but around this time of year, you definitely do need a bench. Laporte coming on for a 1-pointer was clearly disappointing, but actually I think Ederson only ended up with 1 or 2 anyway. So the Man City defence wasn't really a differential if you only got the Laporte 1-pointer. Alonso's a really interesting one, guys. And again, I retweeted something that I tweeted a few days ago, about 3 or 4 days ago. I put it out to the Twitter community that Alonso might be a bit overpriced in my opinion. And I think given that the Wolves game was coming up, everyone was like, no, stay on him. He's one of the highest scoring defenders in the game, if not the highest scoring, one of the highest scoring players. You can't move him on. And I think that was the general feeling, guys, and I was with you on that. But I wonder whether after the Wolves game and getting 0, and now with City coming up as well, do we stick or do we twist with Alonso? So maybe we'll come to that as a topic a bit later on. Wan-Bissaka 1, obviously disappointing. Ryan 3 is obviously disappointing as well. Although Brighton with 10 men, it was going to be a bit difficult for them to keep a clean sheet. So all in all, it wasn't too bad a game week, guys. It was pretty solid, but I kind of feel like I'm just a bit solid every week at the minute. I'm not really dropping a lot of places, which is obviously good. But I'm not really making some strides up either. Had I made the Aubameyang to Kane move, pretty sure I would have captained Kane, and then I've been up in the 70s and the 80s with a lot of you guys. So would have been a better week if I'd have made that decision. But listen, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do you know what I mean? And actually with Aubameyang this week at home at Huddersfield, I'm cool with that. Game week rank, 1.47 million. So, okay. Green arrow up to 69k. I think I was about 88, 89k before that. So I'm kind of comfortable with that. Kind of comfortable. But like I say, need to start making some decent progress if I can. So let's see what you guys are saying about my team performance, and then we're going to come on to some of the questions. Aaron Chen, Captain Kane would have made you better. You're absolutely spot on with that. Absolutely spot on. Rushil, Lee, you're just trying to find a reason to get rid of Alonso. Do you know what, Rushil? I really do want to get rid of him. And I know that's really bonkers to say it, because if we look at him, the scores that he's been posting, right, the points that he's getting, absolutely unreal. I mean, the way he started the season was unreal. We can all remember that. But even then, 11, 6, 8, 1, 6, 0. He is playing. He does look nailed on. I don't see there's too much threat for his place, to be honest. And when he does turn it on his day and he gets the assist, that tends to come with a bonus point or two. So you can't ignore the 11s and the 8s in there. And when he doesn't do it, usually when he doesn't do anything attacking-wise, there's often a clean sheet in there too. But I wonder, guys, I just wonder whether at 7 million or whatever he is now, might be starting to get a bit towards the expensive side. But I'm going to keep for him for now. There's other things I need to sort out. We need to sort out this Arnautovic thing. Probably need to sort out the Martial thing as well. MU Fan TV, all of you Man United fans that are on here, let us know what you're doing with Martial. You keeping, you sticking? How bad is the injury? I want to know about that. Right, so that is the team. Let's have a look at some of the fixtures for this week. There's my automatic subs. Robbo and Mane coming out for Doherty and Wan-Bissaka. So good to have a good bench, guys. Good to have a good bench. Those were the results from the last game week. Not going to dwell on those too much because we kind of have to look ahead already. It's coming thick and fast, guys. We've got to look ahead already. Let's go to the live chat though, because I want to hear about, first and foremost, Arnautovic replacements, guys. I think a lot of people are on Arnautovic, and if you're not, you've probably got Felipe Anderson. If you're a Felipe Anderson owner right now, I think you're pretty happy. The fixtures, as we know, for West Ham look very, very good across the Christmas period. So if you're a Felipe Anderson owner, you definitely stick. If you're an Arnautovic owner, you have to sell. He's out for a number of game weeks, and you probably want to get rid. So let's see what you guys are saying. Hakeem Bong is saying, get Jimenez. Yeah, and I've definitely considered that. He looks like really good value, doesn't he? Really, really good value. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Diraj got in Perez for Arnautovic. That's a kind of an interesting one, Diraj, to be fair. Did well, didn't he, when he came on? Did very, very well indeed. Bit of a forgotten man. Almost forgotten that he was around, to be honest. I wonder whether he may see not as much game time as we think. I'm a bit worried about Perez. Appreciate he came on in that game and played with Hernandez, with Chicharito, but I think Andy Carroll might even be sniffing around a start at West Ham. So there is some choice up front for the Hammers, despite the Arnautovic injury. I'm not sure I'm massive on Perez. As Andrew Yee is saying, too early for Perez, but looks good. He's barely played. I think you're absolutely right about that, Andrew. However, if you are chasing and you do fancy a bit of a differential, or indeed a jammy pick at home to Palace this game week, he's got to be under 5% owned. Absolutely has to be. And with the West Ham fixtures going forward, might not be a terrible shout. Felix O is saying, I'm not sure Perez will start for us, to be honest. I think that is the concern, isn't it? That is the concern. Arnautovic replacements, guys. Let's talk about this. Rondon for Arnie, an interesting option, J-Boy says. Do you know what? Seeing a lot of love for him at the minute. Let's have a look at the Newcastle fixtures. I don't think they're too bad, at least in the short term. Yeah, Wolves, Huddersfield, Fulham. Next three look really, really good for Newcastle and for Rondon. Before our trip to Anfield and then Watford, which it gets a little bit more difficult as we get the other side of Christmas. But for the next 3 weeks, that's look very good, Rondon. If you want a little short-term pick, I'll go with you on that. Amita is saying Murray. I thought I saw that Murray might have been injured, actually, Amita. I don't know if I've got that right, but you guys will be able to tell me whether that's right or wrong. I thought I saw something about Murray maybe picking up a bit of a knock. Jerome Hughes, get Rondonley in capital letters. Jerome, I can't bring myself to do it. They're so prone to an off day, aren't they, Newcastle? They're so prone to an off day. One week they look great. He looks great. Looks like a world beater. Next week, absolute rubbish. Anas is saying, Wilson the best replacement. Well, you guys know that I've got a bit of history with Wilson. Tends to troll me when I get him in. Tends to troll me pretty hard. And to be fair, I have got Fraser, although the double up does look on, guys, after what we've seen in the last game week. With those two combining for the first two Bournemouth goals, if you didn't have either of them, that was a problem. That was a real big problem. And if you're a Brooks owner, how do you feel about that now? Are you worried that you haven't got one of the dynamic duo, one of either Wilson or Fraser? Because right now, one, if not both of them, look like really, really good options and pretty good value. Let's have a look at the Bournemouth fixtures. Bottom of the FF Scout ticker, would you believe? Liverpool, Wolves, Brighton at home, Spurs and then Man U. So it's only really game week 18 that looks any good whatsoever, to be honest. So maybe you might not want to go too heavy on the Bournemouth assets, given those fixtures. Martin Boyle is saying, Lacazette, a double up with Aubameyang for the next three. Well, I obviously like the look of Arsenal's fixtures there. Huddersfield, Southampton, Burnley and Brighton. And again, didn't see much of the Arsenal game actually, but the Arsenal-Manchester United game. But the Arsenal fans in my office were saying they were robbed, guys. So make of that what you will. But for me, those two look equally good up top at the minute. And it kind of reminds me of the whole kind of Salah versus Mane thing, right? We've been deliberating all season about whether Salah is worth the extra 3 or so million over Mane. Well, do we think that Aubameyang is worth that extra 2, maybe 2.5 million over Lacazette? Right now, I think he is, but if we go into that game, if Arsenal get something out of that game at home to Huddersfield, which you've got to think that they're going to win that game, if he plays Lacazette up top and he sticks Aubameyang wide, I think us Aubameyang owners are going to maybe start to consider or maybe start to feel that we might have picked the wrong Arsenal asset. I don't think picking an Arsenal striker is a bad move at all, guys. In fact, I think it's a very, very good move. But which one do you have? And if you fancy the double up, as was suggested in the live stream, difficult to go against that, but it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. You've got to go 2 big hitters up top. Kind of excludes you out of the Kane conversation, probably. And it kind of makes it a bit more difficult to go down the Sterling route. And if you're still on Hazard for whatever reason, kind of difficult to stick with all of those guys. So, going to be a difficult ask if you're going to have 2 Arsenal players. But listen, it's not a bad shout because they seem to be in very, very good form. What is that now, Arsenal fans? 20, maybe 21 games unbeaten? Absolutely unreal. A super chat from Mike Gascoigne. So Mike, thank you very much for the super chat and for supporting the stream. We say it every week, guys. As ever, the super chat is on. If you want to support the stream, we'd absolutely love you to do that. Not a prerequisite for being here, but thank you, Mike, for supporting the stream with £5 donation. Very, very kind of you. He says, get Sam some Lemsips, Lee. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you, Mike. And she's smiling over there. See, there you go. So get you some Lemsips after that. Yeah, and some migraine tablets. He says, thanks for all the effort you put in over the show. Thank you, Mike. Very, very kind of you to do that. Really appreciate that. Mike, if you've got a question, Mike, get into the live chat now and send your question and we can discuss it as a community. While you're doing that, let's have a look at Nikhil's question. So Nikhil is saying, Laka or Kane for the armband. Now, this is going to be, I think, probably a question that's repeated most weeks. I happen to think that Arsenal at home to Huddersfield is a better game for Arsenal than Spurs away at Leicester. Now listen, Spurs are in pretty good form. They annihilated Chelsea a few weeks ago, as we know. Played pretty well against Arsenal for a while and then it all fell apart for whatever reason. And then obviously had a good result last night. So yeah, Kane is obviously not a bad captain pick and I think Sam is planning to captain him most weeks over Christmas, right? But for me, that Arsenal versus Huddersfield game is absolutely, it's a plum tie, isn't it? An absolute plum tie. And having made my bed with Aubameyang, I have to stick with my man. And he is the reason I bought him in. So that's the one I'm going for. Mike is saying the big question for me this week, Aubameyang or Lacazette and the 1.6 million to spend a bit more in midfield. So guys, get onto the live chat. Let us know what you think. Out of the 2 Arsenal assets, who is the better asset? Lacazette and 1.6 or Aubameyang? And I think, Mike, the answer to the question is going to be what you're going to do with that 1.6. That's the kind of key question. Let's see. And while you're answering that, Cody's saying Kane has scored 7 versus Leicester in the last 3 meetings. That is some statistic. I got a feeling there was one game where he scored 4 in a game against Leicester. And it was, I think, towards the end of the season, so it was a bit of a dead rubber game, and I think Spurs just turned up. He wanted the golden boot, so it didn't really matter who got the points, but he wanted the golden boot. So he got straight in there and scored 4 goals. So that maybe skews that statistic a little bit. But yeah, he likes playing Leicester, no doubt about it. Jason Stilling, thank you very much, Jason, for sponsoring the stream with a super chat, £5. Very, very kind of you to do that. He's saying Laka and Sané or Aubameyang and Son, and then get well soon, Sam. So thank you, Jason, for sponsoring the stream. Laka and Sané or Aubameyang and Son. Now listen, that is some question, because I happen to think Son is a pretty good option at Spurs. Got his goal in the last game week, so clearly a good option. The spectre of rotation hangs over him, though, Jason, and that is a concern for me. And I appreciate that I've sat here a few weeks and said, well, everyone's rotatable over Christmas, and I stand by that statement. But I do worry about Mora, I do worry about Lamela from the Sun perspective. And as we've just mentioned, it's kind of hard to split Laka and Alba at the minute, especially if he goes with both of them, which he tends to do against the weaker sides, especially at home, Unai Emery. So if he's going Laka and Alba at the weekend and he puts Laka up top, I think I would go for Laka and Sané there. I think I would. I think I'd go Laka and Sané, and I think I would actually be erring on the side of Sané would be the swinger there, because for me, the kid Sané is in absolutely unreal form right now. Absolutely unreal form. And if you're a Sterling owner, it's really unlucky not to get any pitch time against Watford. But listen, I think don't worry about that. He is a rotation risk in the same way that everyone else is at Man City. So I wouldn't worry about it. Get him back in this game week. They can absolutely beat Chelsea. No problem at all, Man City. Very, very tough to score any goals against them away from home. And they seem to be battering teams 3 or 4-0 or 3 or 4-1 every single week right now. So stick with Sterling. No issue with taking him out. If anything, guys, I'm actually considering doing a bit of a Sterling and Sané double up. And I have some money in the bank to do Martial to Sterling, which is something that I am considering, depending on my decision around Arnautovic. I'm either using my money in the bench to go up to bring Arnautovic up to somebody. I'm going to take some money out of Arnautovic, go to like a Jimenez, and then start upgrading people like Martial to Sterling. That's kind of my thinking right now. Lachlan is saying Aubameyang good for FPL when he finishes off the team. More move with a tap-in. So he does get all sorts of goals. We did see an absolutely worldy goal against Spurs, right? I don't know, it's outside the box or maybe edge of the box. Hit it first time, beautiful goal. But he is a very instinctive player as well, Lachlan. You're absolutely right. He gets in all the right places, gets the tap-ins, and to be honest, they're all worth the same amount of FPL points, mate. So, if he gets a tap-in, you're just as happy, right? Just as happy. Liam Rist, Gabbiadini an option. Now, Liam, I'm hoping that you are saying that with your tongue firmly in your cheek, sir, because Gabbiadini, for me, is not an option. But what I will say, and there is a but in that statement, what I will say, it'd be very interesting to see what the new manager does at Southampton. So I'm not going to pretend that I know how to pronounce his name, Hasenhüttl or something like that, right? The ex-Red Bull Leipzig manager, which I'll be open with you guys, I hadn't heard a lot about up until when I saw it on Twitter and started Wikipediaing about him. Hadn't seen a lot about this guy, but from what I've seen, did a very good job at Leipzig, came second only to Bayern in the German league, got them up out of Bundesliga 2, if that's what they call it, the German equivalent of the Championship, bought them up, got them, made them steady in the league, and then went to RB Leipzig and did very, very well there. So could be good for the Saints, could be very good. Mark Hughes was really not very good, and he was a bit of a dead man walking. So any change whatsoever, I think, is good for the Saints. So let's see how that works. I think a lot of people are kind of comparing Hasenhüttl, if that's his name, to Klopp, actually. They're saying he's the Austrian Klopp, or he's got the same sort of mentality about him as Klopp. Well, if that's the case, Southampton are going to need a high press. They're going to need that sort of gegenpressing, heavy metal football, as Klopp likes to call it. The front three pressing, they're going to need to be very, very fit. I'm looking around that Southampton team and I'm thinking players like Manello Gabbiadini, not sure if he's necessarily got that mentality. Danny Ings is the sort of player that's got that mentality, so he could be a very good option if indeed he can stay fit. The ones I'll be looking out for are actually the flying wing-backs. So we already know that Cedric and Bertrand can get forward in that Southampton team. So let's see. under this new Klopp-esque system that Southampton may or may not be adopting. We need to wait and see. But if they do that, then maybe the likes of Bertrand and Cedric Suarez should be coming onto our radar a bit more near the centre of the radar. And Cedric Suarez, of course, maybe on the odd free kick as well. So one to look out for. Mike Gascoigne, another good question from Mike. Kolasinac is a good shout for a bit less than Bellerin. Yeah, with the Arsenal fixtures, no doubt you can go and invest in one of their defenders. Not sure how the injury to Rob Holding is going to affect them. I happen to think that Rob Holding was starting to become a bit of a fixture in that team and was starting to look pretty good. But I think he's out long term. I think he's out for a while. So it'd be interesting to see who comes in. Does Mustafi come back in? Socrates does play. Does Mavropanos play? Does Koscielny come back in? Because I think he's returning from injury, albeit slowly. And maybe temporarily, because we know what Koscielny's injury record is like, so keep an eye on that one. I think, Mike, I'm never that mega keen on getting Arsenal defenders for clean sheet points. The bread and butter, as we like to say in FPL. I think if you're going to bring in an Arsenal defender, you're spot on to have a look at Kolasinac and Bellerin, because at least you've got some attacking points there. And of the two, I think I do fancy Kolasinac just that little bit more, but the guy is not a great defender, I'm afraid. Don't fancy him as a defender, so don't see many clean sheets there. Blaze is saying Kolasinac rotation risk because of Monreal. So you're absolutely right, Blaze. That is something else that we need to consider if indeed you're going to be looking at Kolasinac. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Marcus Powell, yeah. Too fragile at the back, yeah, absolutely. Oh, awesome. Another super chat. Guys, keep them coming tonight. Very, very kind of you to keep the super chats coming. Now, listen. That is a name, by the way. That is a name. Abraham. I'm just going to say Abraham. No, let's give it a go. Abraham Overvoord. Abraham, thank you very much for the super chat. Very, very kind of you to donate and support the stream. Enjoy the show, guys, as usual. Thank you for tuning in. Don't normally comment live, but good to keep up the good work. Listen, comment away. We love it when you guys interact, especially on a night like tonight where we've got no Sam. You've just got to listen to my dulcet tones, I'm afraid, for the best part of 45 minutes, an hour. And all we're doing is answering questions. So keep the questions coming, guys. And Abraham, thank you for donating. Thank you for the question. Captain Aubameyang or Kane for Gameweek 16. We were just covering that a few minutes ago. For me, it's Aubameyang because I think the fixture for Kane is that little bit more difficult. But listen, both very, very good options this week. But for me, it's Aubameyang. Liam Rist is saying, I miss Sam's stats. Sorry, Liam. There's no such thing as Lee's stats. We will be back as ever on Sunday night when we will have Sam back and on form, hopefully, and we'll have some stats for you. I will make sure, Liam, that she's got some stats just for you, mate. Just for you. Goodness me, guys, there's some names going on here. There's a question here that says, best Arnie replacement. We've talked a little bit about Arnie replacements. Let's not go around that again. But if you replay the stream, have a look again once it's live on YouTube. And you'll be able to look back. I think at the sort of, I don't know, 10, 15 minute mark, we were talking about Arnautovic replacements. Jose Mourinho, I'm guessing not the actual Jose Mourinho, but somebody whose name is Jose Mourinho, captain Lacazette or Kane. That's a good one. I think if it was Aubameyang or Kane, like I say, Aubameyang, but Lacazette or Kane, I think I'd probably just about go Lacazette. I think that Arsenal fixture is so good. So good. Let's see. Dave Pimpernel. Thank you for joining, Dave. No one is talking about Manchester United assets versus Fulham. How the mighty have fallen. You know, it's a crazy one, isn't it? It's a crazy one. In FPL of yore, Man United at home to Fulham, despite Fulham's slight uptake in form since Ranieri's been there, and they've looked actually significantly better. We know that they like to concede shots. We know that they like to concede goals. So we absolutely should be considering Manchester United options. Guys, let me know what you're doing with Martial. Martial owners, get in the live chat right now. Let me know what you're doing with this guy. Are we sticking and waiting for the press conferences? Are we off of Martial already? Is he gone? Are you keeping because the fixtures look pretty good in the medium term? Like I say, didn't see the game, so actually don't know how injured Martial is right now. And given that he's keeping those points ticking over at a really nice price point, I don't really want to get rid of him. He's had his rest a couple of weeks ago, and I think Mourinho looked at that and was just like, well, we've got a 2-2 draw with Southampton in the game that we really should have won, and I think potentially he learnt his lesson by dropping Martial. So for me, and as Aaron Nair is saying, Martial keep. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Aaron, for now. I'm absolutely with you. Aaron Chen, waiting for Martial's news. I think that's the right thing to do. J-Boy is saying sell after this week, guys. Well, let's have a look at the Manchester United fixtures and just see what they are doing, because I don't think they're too bad. It's Liverpool away next, which is obviously tough, but then Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth. So, listen, I think you can probably... There's absolutely a case there for holding on to Martial. I wouldn't be quite so hasty to be getting rid of him, assuming the news comes back positive from the Manchester United camp, assuming the press conference is got some positive news around what he's doing. I think I'd be holding. Whether I would play him in that game at Anfield, I don't know. I wouldn't expect Mourinho to come to Anfield and be ultra-attacking. In fact, quite the opposite. I'd expect him to bring the bus and try and grind out a point. So not sure I'd want to play Martial that game. But Fulham, Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth, I think I absolutely would want to play Martial. So I'd be very, very keen to keep him for those fixtures. Daily Cyberdemon, Martial scores every time Lukaku is injured or benched. Yeah, seems to be on a decent run right now. And as Felix says, United's fixtures are favourable. So you're absolutely right about that. You are right. Guys, where else do we want to go? We've discussed Arnautovic replacements a little bit. We've talked a little bit about Southampton and the new manager. And away at Cardiff, there's a good opportunity for the new Southampton manager to get off to a good start. There's a nice fixture to kind of ease him into the Premier League. Let's talk about the big game then. Chelsea versus Manchester City. 5:30 on Saturday evening. Chelsea versus Man City. I don't think we need to talk too much about the Man City assets, right? We've done it a number of times in recent weeks in terms of who you go for. And I think the double up is very much on. There's no doubt about it. If you've got Laporte, if you've got Ederson, I think you stick with them. Laporte, I think, just got a rest against Watford. I don't think there's any sort of problem there, so I'd expect him to come back in. Ditto Sterling. I wouldn't expect Sterling to be too much of an issue for the game against Chelsea. If, in fact, I kind of figured that if he was going to get rested anywhere, it might be in that Watford game, given that he wants him fresh and firing for the Chelsea game. Clearly, the more difficult game. Sorry, Watford fans, but it's a tough game going to Chelsea. Very, very tough game. So he'll want his main man fit and firing for that, particularly if Aguero's not ready. And we need to wait on news for that. I think he's kind of 50-50 right now. But if Sterling is available, assuming there's no injury between now and the weekend, he is going to play. And the way that he's playing, you've got to put him up there as a captaincy option. I would have thought. Chelsea are, a bit of an interesting result against Wolves, right? I don't think many of us were expecting that. Wolves been a bit off colour recently, haven't they, quite frankly, and needed to get back on course. And I wasn't sure that actually at home to Chelsea was going to be the game to get them back on course, but fair play to them. Did very well. Doherty with another assist, so very happy keeping him in my side, to be fair. Chelsea looked a little bit off the boil in that game from the highlights that I saw. It doesn't look as if they're very appealing right now, and we've kind of had the Alonso conversation a little bit at the beginning of the live stream. Get in the live chat, guys. Tell me what you're doing with Marcos Alonso. Is it time to ditch this guy now? 7 million, might even be 7.1. Very, very expensive. The most expensive defender in the game at a time when, frankly, we all need as much money as we can to unlock the Sterlings, to unlock the Kanes and the Aubameyangs and the Lacazette. We need as much money as we can. Is Alonso worth it, or could we swap him for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who might be a bit more nailed on in that Liverpool team now? Could we swap him to a Brighton defender? Or could we swap him to, well, not Duffy after the red card, clearly, but could we swap him for, I don't know, Dunk or somebody? Or is there a Palace defender that we want to look at? Or Arsenal defenders, we've discussed Bellerin and Kolasinac. There's so many options out there right now. Is Alonso worth the money, guys? Is he worth the money? I think, generally speaking, the answer is, I think, yes. As Josh Oram is saying, I'm keeping Alonso when he's hot. He's very hot. Yeah, I think you're right. Vinyl Richard, thank you for joining this evening. Keeping Alonso. Season keeper for me. Great fixtures. Mostly in London over Christmas, so not a lot of travel required for Alonso and for Chelsea. Alonso has great fixtures, don't remove. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Chelsea fixtures are good. And you guys, if you haven't seen the fixtures, it's the City game, but then it's Brighton, Leicester, Watford and Palace. So you're absolutely right to say that those fixtures look pretty good. Pretty good after the Man City game. So I think you're right. Let's not spend any more time on it. I think we're reasonably unanimously saying that Alonso is a keep for now. Whether he's a season keeper, Richard, is one to ponder. I guess as a Chelsea fan, you want to keep him. And he is delivering a lot of value for his price point, right? There's a lot of 7 million midfielders that are not delivering the sort of returns he is. So one to watch, but for now a keep. Else to say, guys? Let's have a look. Alonso will be dropped, K-Dog is saying. Not sure about that. Can't see that myself. Alonso has the threat to totally ruin your season. It's a keep for me. Now, Gerard C. Never a truer word said, mate. Never a truer word said. Alonso absolutely wrecked my season last year when I downgraded him to Christensen. So I am not in the mood to make that sort of transfer again. Absolutely not in the mood for that. Nick Hill is saying downgrade Robertson to Arnold to save money. So guys, let's have a look at this as well. So the Liverpool assets, weird team sheet, wasn't it? We said it at the beginning of the stream. Weird team sheet from Klopp in the Burnley game. Came through in the end for him. Came through. And I think Liverpool fitness kind of shone through a little bit, and the fact that Liverpool are kind of used to playing, as all the biggest sides are in the Premier League, used to playing that 2 game a week, used to being into that cycle, whereas the Burnleys of this world, clearly are not quite used to that. Got sort of semi-used to it at the beginning of the season with their Europa League campaign, but more generally speaking, for teams like Burnley to play 2 games in a week nowadays is tough. It takes its toll on your legs. In the last 20 minutes, Liverpool kind of got stuck into that team and they could smell blood, I think. Be interesting to see what the team sheet looks like for this game week. I'm not expecting Salah to be dropped again, guys. I think he's had his rest now against Burnley. He needs him for that Bournemouth game. Bournemouth at home are a very, very good side, an exciting proposition, Bournemouth at home. So it's a difficult game. I would expect Salah to play. Whether you'd want to captain him or not, I don't know. I think there's better options, right? I think there's better options. Certainly the Arsenal assets, and we've talked about Kane already. Chelsea and Man City, I think probably are sort of cancelling each other out this week. But the Liverpool assets away at Bournemouth, not a standout captaincy pick that. It's also at 12:30 in the morning, so it's kind of like Liverpool going to travel down in the morning. Are they going to go the day before, so therefore have one less day training? Don't know. It's a difficult one, that, because Liverpool to Bournemouth is obviously a very long journey. I would back Salah to play, clearly. I think the defensive dynamic is kind of interesting now as well. With Gomez injured, and it looks like he's injured for a bit, Trent Alexander-Arnold suddenly becomes a very, very good option at right back. On set pieces as well, as we've seen a couple of weeks ago with that phenomenal free kick. 5.1 in the game, 5.2, something like that. So really, really good option. Even cheaper than him is Dejan Lovren. Difficult for me to sit here and say and kind of advocate Lovren. I'm not his biggest fan, but he's super cheap in the game. I actually don't know his price, but he's got to be possibly even 4 point something, guys, right? So Lovren looks reasonably now, well, I think more than reasonably, looks pretty nailed on. Matip is there, clearly Matip is there, and I think got some game time against Burnley, but I'm pretty sure that Klopp's preferred centre-back pairing for the period of time that Gomez is going to be out is going to be Lovren and Van Dijk, and as a result, Trent is going to be on that right-hand side, with potentially Klein maybe getting some minutes, but I expect Trent to get most of the time over Christmas. Absolutely. Lovren is 4.9, you guys are saying. So 4.9 for a defence that's conceded, I think, 6 or maybe 7 goals. I think it's only 6 goals all season, guys, home and away, which I think is the best in the league right now. I think City have conceded against Watford. There's a couple of dodgy penalties that Ederson gave away a few weeks ago at the Etihad. So City probably on about 7 or 8 goals conceded. Liverpool on only 6. So Liverpool, crazy to say it, given where we were this time last year when we had the absolute guff defence. But this year, 6 goals conceded for Liverpool. So Lovren at 3.9, not his biggest fan, guys, but at 4.9, I think I said 3 then, didn't I? 4.9 for Lovren. Got to be an option. Got to look at that. Let's see what you guys are saying about Liverpool. Shaqiri hasn't played a lot, Josh Oram says, but he's got 3 goals and 4 assists so far. Yeah, good option. Really good option. And then he goes on to say, I think Klein will be sold in January. Be a shame, actually. I really like Nathaniel Klein, but I do agree with you. I think it'd be better for his career if he either went out on loan. I don't think he's first pick there by any stretch of the imagination. Jason Stilling is saying, as a Paul fan, Lovren should be 3.9. Well, there's a case for that. Let's see. Liverpool still have Klein. Dasher Dude says, yeah, absolutely. So there is potentially a bit of a risk of a rotation there. Let's see. Jared is saying Gomez out for 6 weeks. Yeah, I thought it was long term. So it's bad news. Bad news. And at this time of year, 6 weeks is more like 10 game weeks, right? So I'm afraid if you're a Gomez owner, he's got to go. Aaron Nair, any news on Robertson? Haven't seen any, Aaron. Haven't seen any, but I think it's absolutely worth holding on to him until you get that news, right? Robertson has been very, very good this year. So I think it's worth waiting for the news. If for whatever reason he's out for medium to long term, and I don't anticipate that because he was only a slight doubt for the game against Burnley. If he's out for any period of time, then the downgrade to TAA looks on and looks pretty straightforward. However, if Robertson is out, that means Moreno plays, and then we've got a defence that it consists of Lovren and Moreno. Not going to be many clean sheets in that defence, guys. Not going to be many clean sheets. Rishi Roy, should I keep Salah for the upcoming game week? So, guys, let's talk about that in the live chat. We've got about 15 minutes left, so let's talk about Salah. What are we doing with him, guys? If you're still on Salah, do you still think he's value? Do you think that he's worth the 13 million? Let's see whether whether he can do the business away at Bournemouth. I fully expect him to play, having been rested in the last game. So, what are we doing with Salah? I've been off him for actually a few weeks because, as I said a few weeks back, I don't think he's worth the value. Sam still has Salah, as far as I'm aware. So, listen, guys, he's a great option, right? He's a great FPL option, keeps the goals ticking over. But at 13 million, he's the sort of player that you want to put the armband on him, set and forget for the whole season and just forget about it, right? But he's not that player. There's other really good options for around that money or less money that I think you can get. I just saw a super chat come in. Steve Wynyard, thank you, Steve, for the super chat. He's saying a pick came out today of Robbo in training. Well, there you go. So thank you for that, Steve. So there's your answer, Aaron. You owe Steve a pint. There's your answer. Pick of Robbo in training today. So you've got to think that Robbo is going to be absolutely fine for the weekend, which would be really, really good. FPL Tips, welcome to the stream. Lead, you need a new co-host. Thank you for offering tips. It's a one-off today, mate. It's just me. Sam is not well. So she's on the sofa. She is here. She's sitting on the sofa. She's not well. Migraines, dizzy spells, all sorts of stuff. Looking at screens is not good at the moment. So the TV's off. Everything's off. And she's just trying to ride it out, mate. She's just trying to ride it out. So she'll be back on Sunday, hopefully. Hopefully back on Sunday. Ian Barrett, thinking of selling Salah. Yeah, there's a lot of people thinking. Vinyl Richie, I've sold Salah. I'm not captaining him in December. So I had a look at the fixtures and thought, where do I captain Salah? Well, I don't. And at 13 million, he's not worth it, Vinyl Richie's saying. I have to agree with you. For example, 19 million gets you Sané and David Silva. Well, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. And I think at a time when the City midfield assets look must-haves, guys, don't they? It sort of feels like you've got to have either Sané or Sterling. And if you want both, great. And if you want to complement one of them with David Silva or even Bernardo Silva at his price point, ain't too bad an option. Is there space for Salah amongst all that goodness in the Man City side? I'm with you, Richard. I'm not convinced. I think he's not a great option, Salah. Well, he is a good option. He's an expensive, great option, right? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Gunners for glory. I think Salah will come good. Well, listen, he came good a lot last season. But I still think the Liverpool mentality is different this year, right? The mentality is different. It's not as heavy metal this year as it was last year. Klopp came in and he changed things up, and Firmino was all over the place, creating space for Mane and Salah. And as a result, they were both the two main goal scorers in the side. It was Mane and Salah getting all the praise, all the goals, all the headlines, and Firmino was the kind of workhorse. It's not happening this year for whatever reasons. Maybe Firmino's a bit tired. Maybe he needs a rest. I don't know. Had a bit of a rest against Burnley. So let's see what happens in Bournemouth. But even though Firmino's had that rest, guys, I still think that the mentality is different. Liverpool focus more now on being solid, not conceding too many goals, not going gung-ho. And I think the mentality is different. And to that end, I don't think Salah's worth the money. But still a good option. Let's see. Mike Gascoigne. Salah to Sterling's a no-brainer. Maybe not this week, though. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe not this week. But Sterling looks very, very good. Very, very good indeed. And I must admit, I'm incredibly tempted by the double up. I'm absolutely tempted. So, guys, listen, that is... we want to do some league reviews as well. So that is most of the main FPL headlines covered, I think. I don't think we can go without a quick word on Everton. I mean, Richarlison, again, another goal. I think he's probably the highest owned midfielder in the game right now. If not the highest, maybe he's the highest owned player, guys. I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is the highest owned midfielder. So if you haven't got him, I think you've got to think about Richarlison now. Silva's got him playing really, really nicely. He's adapted to that position in that number 9 when he plays there. He was actually out on the wing again in the last game, and that didn't seem to affect his potential, right? So he got the goal. Well, it was a bit last minute, I appreciate that, but very, very good option. And as a few of you guys are saying, as Dixit is saying on here, Digne was so impressive. Digne looks a great option, guys. A really, really good option. I don't think he's still that expensive. He's probably in and around the 5 million-ish mark. He is the heir to the Baines throne. Absolutely. He's like a young Baines. He's exactly like a young Baines, right? We all loved Leighton Baines a few years ago for the amount he got forward, the amount of assists. He obviously had penalties in his locker as well, which Digne hasn't, but Digne has got a lot. He's got a lot going for him. And Everton seem to be very tight at the back. Obviously very unlucky not to get the clean sheet against Liverpool. And then only conceded the 1 goal last game week. So Everton looking a lot better generally. A lot better generally. Another super chat from FPL Tips. Thank you, FPL Tips, for the super chat. He says, get well soon, Stato Sam. Well, absolutely. I will send Sam your regards. Thank you, FPL Tips. And for you guys that haven't checked out FPL Tips' YouTube channel yet, go check it out. Go search for FPL Tips in the YouTube search bar as soon as FPL Family is finished, and go and subscribe to his channel because he does some great live streaming as well. It's tougher tips, isn't it, on your own? Well, it's tough. It's really tough. I usually have Sam here to bounce my ideas off. This is really hard doing it on your own. Dix is saying, Baines, an FPL legend. He was, wasn't he? Absolute legend. Absolute legend. So, guys, there we go. So, those are the fixtures. Those are the headlines. Those are the talking points. Let's have a look at my team. We had a look at it a bit at the beginning, so we're not going to labour on it. Actually, that's last week, isn't it? Let's have a look at the team. Here we go. No transfers yet, guys, this week. No transfers. Too much news I need to wait on. There's too much going on. I need to zoom out a little bit so you guys can probably see that a bit better. There is too much going on, guys. I need to wait on Martial news because if he's... I think one of you guys said it in the live chat. I think Man United have come out and said it's a pre-injury, which I think means that he's not injured, but if he plays a lot of minutes, then the potential is there for an injury. So we really do need to have a look at that from Martial. But Fulham at home, I don't want to sell him before then. I really don't. But with Arnautovic being there, red flagged, is out for the foreseeable, which is a real bummer because West Ham's fixtures just starting to look brilliant. He has got to go for me. Clearly, he's one of my transfers out this game week. And I've got to decide whether I use the 2.6 million that I've got in the bank to go up to somebody. And I can do Lacazette, guys. I have the exact money to do Lacazette right now. So I don't know what the price markets look like right now. But if either Arnautovic is dropping or Lacazette is rising tonight, I'm not going to be able to do that move. So if I want Lacazette and Aubameyang, by the way, so double Arsenal at home to Huddersfield, which is not absurd, by the way, it's something I've considered, then I need to do Arnautovic to Lacazette tonight. I don't think I'm going to do that. Because I want to hear on the Martial news, and then depending on whether he's fit or not, I'll be doing either Arnautovic down to probably Jimenez. I quite like Jimenez. I mean, ticking over the points at his price point is phenomenal value. Mitrovic as well, obviously back on the radar now that the new manager is in at Fulham, now that Ranieri's there, and seems to have kind of G'd up Mitrovic a little bit. He seems to be hitting a little bit of form again, and the stats are starting to look better for him. So I do like that. Callum Wilson, dare I say it, he's there as an option. Do I fancy the double up with Fraser? I don't. Despite what happened last game week, I still don't fancy that double up. And there's a few of you guys that tweeted me saying they're the new Vardy and Mahrez for this season, and I can't argue with that. And if you had them both for last game week, you were absolutely laughing. But I still feel like Fraser is okay. I still feel like I'm okay with Fraser and not to have Wilson as well. But he's still a very good pick. And as you guys are saying, with Arnautovic out, is Perez an option? Is Chicharito an option? They absolutely are. Yeah, they absolutely are. There's no doubt about it. So I've got to think about what I do with Arnautovic. Got to hear some news on Martial. Robertson's in training, so I don't think that's going to be an option there at the back. Mane, and a few of you guys are saying, why have you still got Mane? What's he doing in your team? I still feel like I want some Liverpool cover, guys, right? I still feel like I want somebody to cover the goals that Liverpool can score. Don't feel like Salah's worth the money. I feel like Mane can match him for that money, so I'm sticking by Mane for now. I don't think the foot injury is too bad. Again, we need to look at some news. I think he was close to being in the squad for the Burnley game, but given the opportunity to rest him, I think Klopp's gone ahead and done that. And as Ryan is saying, thank you, Ryan, for joining tonight. Mane not in training today, so yeah, we do need to have a look at that. So I'm keeping my eye on Mane. He might make way, but I feel like, as a Liverpool fan as well, guys, I'm afraid I do want some Liverpool cover in my team. And at the minute, Mane is that guy. It's Mane. So that's the team for this week. There will be some changes. Keep up to date with me on Twitter at FPL Family, and I'll keep you up to speed on what I'm thinking of doing over the course of the next few days. We've got to act quickly. Martin Boyle saying Origi. Not sure about that, Martin. Not sure about that. Despite the fluky goal that he scored the other night, I think we need to see some consistency there, Martin, don't we? We need to see some consistency as starts. Before we go and look at the leagues, guys, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the live stream, there's a poll. There's one poll, and I only did one poll because I knew that we'd be doing a bit of a Q&A here tonight. I knew we'd be answering questions on the fly. So thank you and apologies to anybody that tweeted me earlier in response to the request for polls. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to go back after the live stream. I'm going to get Sam Alemsip, and then I'm going to try and respond to a few of those questions on Twitter, at FPL Family on Twitter, if you sent us a question in there. But the one poll is around the captain, so get on there and check out that captain poll. Who's going to be your captain for this game week? And we'll check that out in just a second. The little eye in the top right-hand corner above my head, go check that out. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at the leagues, and in particular, I want to have a look at the FPL Family Christmas Present League to see how you guys are getting on with that, see who the front runners are. So if any of you guys that are in the top 15 players here in the FPL Family Christmas Present League, if you're in the live stream, give us a shout out. Let us know that you're there, and I want to give you a mention on here. So top right now is a gentleman called Tuzimi Darius. So 91 points, absolutely unreal score from last game week. 91, an overall rank of 6,000. So clearly not just started up a team just for this league. So absolutely allowed to be in the league. Not a UK manager, so we'll win lots of plaudits, clearly. And with a team like that that's got 91 points, even with Alonso stinking up the back line there, that is a fantastic, fantastic performance. And with Sterling and Robertson and Balbuena, looks set to dominate over the next few weeks. So could be in line for the FPL Family Christmas Present League throne. So very, very good indeed. Sam Kendrick is next, who is based in the UK. 82k rank overall, 3 transfers last week, so spent a points hit for a mini wildcard. Absolutely worked. Game week rank of 3.5k, 88 points, absolutely sensational. Up into 82k overall, which is a very good score, and looking good. Currently leading the way in the FPL Family Christmas Present League, 88 points this game week. So Sam Kendrick, if you're here, welcome, thank you for joining, and well done. You're in pole position right now for the FPL Family Christmas Present League. That stadium tour for 2 around Wembley could be yours, sir. Let's have a look if we've got any more UK managers along here. So let's have a look. Tristan Lomas, I think is. Yeah, Triggy's 11. Tristan Lomas, 43k game week rank, 33k overall rank, 78 points last game week. Currently second best UK-based manager in the FPL Family Christmas Present League. So in a very, very good position. Front of the grid for Tristan. And Adam Ryan, I think, is a UK player as well. 90 points, 5k overall, brilliant overall rank, absolutely brilliant. 90 points in last game week. So all 3 of you guys in very, very good position. Adam on 147, Sam on 152, and Tristan on 148. So pretty close as you'd expect, because clearly we've only had 2 game weeks. So we've got probably 3 to go. So well done to everybody who is doing well in that league, and we will continue to monitor that, guys. We'll keep looking at that, and we'll keep seeing how you guys are doing. Let's have a look in the live. Just go to the live chat, see if any of you guys are in there. Let's see. Gunners for Glory, I'm 194, so a bit of work to do there, Gunners. A bit of work to do. Viali Wright, 42nd in the league. Very, very good. So not bad, because there's hundreds of people in that league, so 42nd is very good. But we want to be at the top. Couple of risks need to be taken. Let's see. Josh Tanning, 9th. Josh, you 9th, Josh? Goodness me. Let's have a look at this. Josh, Hotline Blinked. Love that name, by the way. 63k overall. Game week rank 102. 74 points. Mr. Josh Telling. Very, very good, sir. Very, very good. So what's your points in this league? Let's see. 143 playing Sam's 152. So Josh, absolutely 100% in the mix, my friend. In the mix. Very, very good. Dan Von Hall, 21st as well. Very good. With a smile, with a sad looking emoji. Dan, that 21st is not to be sniffed at all. Very, very good. Pirate FPL, I'm 6th. Can't believe it. Very good. Adam Ryan, very, very good. So you're in with a chance, Adam. You're in with a chance for that stadium tour for 2. Very, very good. Aaron, 35th. Very good. Some very, very good scores in here tonight, guys. Very good. So, let's check out the live stream regulars league while we're here. Might as well have a quick glance at that. Let's see where you guys are. Let's see. Live stream regulars. Ryan Foley, still sitting top of the shop with Blue Brazil. Very, very good. 1044. So, Peter Stead has come in and taken a chunk out of that league. Rich Nyquist is up into, or down, I should say, sorry, Richard, down in the third at 1025. So Ryan's still sitting pretty by about 20 points or so. 37th in the game, which is astoundingly good. 37, 54 points last game week. Salah captain, which is a bit meh, but you know, all of the other players I think around him have done pretty well. Hazard, Sané, Richarlison and Fraser, the midfielders, doing absolutely good things for you this week, Ryan. So, Ryan, we are cheering you on, mate. We are all behind you. 37 in the world. It's pretty phenomenal. Let's see where Peter is as well. 137, pretty phenomenal as well. Equally phenomenal, in my opinion. The team looking very, very good indeed. Kane, captain in there, proud and looking pretty good. So, Peter 137 in the world. Let's have a... Oh, let's not do Google Apps. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. How do we go back? Here we go. We need to go back again. 2 seconds. Right. Richard, let's see how Richard's getting on. 162. Richard, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 162. So, you three guys in particular, obviously we're rooting for all of you guys. Mark as well. Mark is doing very, very well at just over 1k. But all of you three guys at the top there, Ryan, Peter, Richard, we are rooting for you guys. Very, very good. Rishab also bringing up the rear there in 5th. Absolutely great position to be in. And Chris as well having a great season. Ian Wilson a bit further back. Carl's in there. Ketan's in there. Usman's in there. So, guys, you're doing very, very well indeed. All of you guys absolutely smashing it. Superb, superb stuff. Let's see what the results of the polls were, guys, just before I sign off for the evening. So, let's have a look at polls. Here we go. Let's have a look. Where's the little eye? See, normally Sam would fill the time. She'd fill the time right now, but what I've got to do is got to do it all myself. Is there no polls? Did I delete all the polls, guys? Did I even do any polls? I didn't do any polls. Are you guys seeing the polls? Because right now, I'm not seeing them. That's rather annoying. All right, so I can't see any polls. I obviously just deleted them all and forgot to do a captain poll. So what we'll do instead, tell me your captain in the live chat. Let's just go through that now. Andrew Yee, there is a poll. I thought there was one poll for this week. Why can't I see it then? That's pretty annoying. All right, well, listen, rather than me faffing about, because I can't find it, so let's go to the live chat. Let's see who you guys are saying is going to be your captain. So, Felix, thank you, Felix. Aubameyang winning the captain poll. Yeah, I thought so. 50%, Dave Glover's saying. Captain Aubameyang, 50%. Aaron Nair is going for Sterling. Absolutely a good pick any day of the week. Any game week is a good pick. Dave Glover, Mel Brooks both going for Kane. Jared, Aubameyang. A lot of Aubameyangs in here, actually. Mafio Sol, Alba in it. Got to go for Alba. Absolutely right. Luca Elliott, Sir Harold of Kane. Absolutely going Sir Harold of Kane. Jan Andre Christofferson. Thank you for joining, Jan. He's saying Lacazette. Lacazette, a very good pick. Joe, as usual, is rooting for whichever team is playing Watford. Joe, come on. Come on, Joe. It's all going to turn around for Watford pretty soon. He's going Richarlison captain against Watford. A brave pick. A brave pick. Although Richarlison going back to Vicarage Road. Is it Vicarage Road? No, I think it's at Goodison, isn't it? So he's got to play against his old team, Richarlison. So it could be written in the stars for Richarlison this week. Kane or Lacazette, Aaron Chen is saying. Carry256, gotta love Joe. You've got to love the pessimism, haven't you? Maybe it's realism, I don't know. But gotta love Joe. Lilith Lee, I like Sterling. Yes, I do too. I do too. Dixit is saying Felipe Anderson, not bad. Yeah, also not bad. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And he's put ha at the end there. But listen, it's not a bad pick, Felipe Anderson, right? He's on form right now. Andrew Yee, star of the show, as ever. Thank you for doing that, Andrew. Aubameyang 46, Kane 20, Sterling 5, Laka 17, and Salah 10. So a nice mix, actually, guys. It's a nice mix. Sometimes we do these captain polls, and someone's at like, I don't know, 70 or 80%. But there's a nice mix there. No one over 50%. Aubameyang seems to be the favourite. Then it's Kane and Laka are kind of head-to-head. Then Salah, then Sterling, actually, interestingly. Even though he's had the rest, he's going to be fresh for that Chelsea game. But Very, very difficult game to go away to Chelsea. No doubt about it. So listen, guys. Matthew O'Sar, before you go, Lee, please tell us your preferred Liverpool midfield. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Interesting one. Actually, I thought we really missed Milner. Milner looked great against Burnley, having had a little bit of a rest. Looked really, really good. So I was very pleased to see him in there. I thought Keita looked great as well, by the way. So I'll happily have Milner and Keita in there, and then one of either Henderson or Wijnaldum. Difficult not to pick Wijnaldum. He's had a very, very good season. So I think I'd go with those, with the usual 2 on the side, and then the front 3 up front as usual. I think that would be my Liverpool team. Guys, that is it for this evening. That is it. Thank you for joining me. I was going to say thank you for joining us. That's force of habit, isn't it? Thank you for joining me this evening. Been a bit of a funny one, obviously, with Sam not well, but we will both be back, hopefully, all being well, on the migraine front. Be back on Sunday, as usual, where we'll be looking at what's happened in Game Week 16. We'll also be, again, looking forward to Game Week 17, because that's going to come around thick and fast. I think in that week, there's I think it's Champions League as well, right? So the games are coming thick and fast. The rotation's going to be rife, guys. So if there's one piece of advice I could leave you with, get that bench strong, right? If you've got transfers burning holes in your pocket, go and sort that bench out. Get rid of your Isaac successes. Get rid of your Højbjergs and people like that. You want players that are going to play and do well for you. So go and invest in that bench. Thanks for joining. Thank you for coming and bringing all your questions and for making it interactive. As ever, at FPL Family on Twitter, if you're not following me already. At FPL Family on Instagram, if you want to go and cheer Sam up over there. Send her a DM. Get onto our Instagram. Go and give her a follow on there. That'll really cheer her up. Send her a little message. Thank you to all the guys at Super Chat. As everyone supporting the stream. Really, really great of you to do that. And hopefully both Sam and I will see you on Sunday for a review of Game Week 16. Good luck at the weekend, and we'll see you then. Cheers, guys.